Oh my god.
Goomba.
Yeah.
Is that Mario?
I think that then. All right. I'm just gonna lead it in. I'm leading the episode in. There's no cold open. We're getting
That
right
was
to
the cold open.
That was
I
the
just
cold
screamed
open.
it.
Hey, or whatever hey
Ciao,
is
ciao,
in Italian.
ciao. Ciao.
It is your weekly bonus corner. Wait, is this a
This
week?
is a main.
This is your weekly corner Späti with myself, Nicola, Kirano,
Sharon.
Julia.
Julia.
Not Julia.
Julia.
Julia. With a G,
Yeah.
dude.
Rob,
Rob.
no, Rob,
Roberto.
Rob.
Hand me my robe.
Okay,
You're
Jared
very
Leto.
close to how just like most Germans say my name. When they look at me,
Rob.
old German people.
Robbie.
Rob.
Rob. And special guest,
Giuseppina.
Josephina.
Parkinson.
Parkinson.
All right. We have to
Cazzo.
The Jolissima
Yeah.
of the
I prefaced
Josies.
this that us doing the Italian face could not be more racist than anything that was in the movie that we
Yeah. This movie gave us the unlimited pasta pass.
It is, yeah. And I'm an Italian citizen, so I give you guys all the pasta pass.
Yeah, thank you.
Or the
Grazie.
passaporto del pasta.
That's actually people don't know that, but the third biggest economy in Italy now is giving people Italian passes. It's a booming industry because there's high demand for it.
You guys can say it. You guys can say Guinea. It's fine. I give you
No.
guys the- or Dago. Pick your Italian slur. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, for those who did not hear the bonus episode that we recorded, I guess you're hearing it weeks
2.5
ago.
weeks ago.
For us, it was 2.5 days ago. We all went to the teatro and we saw the wonderful film.
Filmo
Casa
de
Gucci.
Casa de Gucci.
Casa of Gucci.
Yeah.
I think it's good that we've gone right back into the delirium of post that film.
La Domo
It's really good to get it
Gucci.
Domo.
La Domo Gucci. I'm just going to speak Esperanto and claim it's Italian.
That's okay, it's also Latin, so
Yeah,
it's fine. That works.
basically Latin.
Yeah.
This is a lot more fun than actually watching the movie.
Späti Gucci.
Yeah. Mi volas cormencia de episode.
Yeah, we're just trying to see House of Gucci in as many languages as we can.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So yes, we are talking about that is right. Tospiti Tongucci,
every
the Greek translation of House of Gucci.
What? Seriously?
gather round, children. Gather round, children. It's now time for the story of Chuck Narucci.
Yeah, that's it. That's the episode.
Yeah.
No, this movie, as you can very well tell by, as Josie perfectly pointed out, our permanent delirium. Our brains have been rotted. This movie is deserves to be talked about.
Beautiful.
Rob's just like staring at his notes, being like, "This was for nothing."
I was asking, but did you actually like the movie? Because it sucked.
I'm seeing
I think
an
Nick
Oscar
kinda liked it.
nomination.
I think Nick-
I-
Well, yeah,
I
like
was-
You
everything that
seem
gets
to hate it the least.
Me?
Yeah. You seem to have like the best buzz afterwards.
It was fun.
Well,
I was
all right,
buzzing
all right, all right, all right, all right.
I was buzzed, yeah.
I was mad
but that
because
was the
we got
wine
out
I
of,
was drinking.
the
during
reason
movie.
that I had so much enjoyment with this is because we get out of the theater and Yulia and I, so we were all split up sitting. So Yulia, myself, and then a friend of hers were sitting. Immediately, I start just being like, "That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen." Like just directly to Yulia.
Yes.
So I hated it, but I loved it. And then Yulia's friend, is just like, "Oh, Nick, you complain all the time, this and that." I'm like, "Oh no, like what's the rest of the gang gonna say?" And then just the level of just satisfaction I had that the rest of you guys were just like, "That was atrocious."
That was
Just-
fun.
Yeah, but it made complaint, not even complaining about the movie, just reliving the experience again of just being gaslit for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because I think that this was supposed to be this was marketed as being a good movie.
Yeah.
It initially got yes, reviews were all faked.
It was a little bit of it was pitched a little bit as Oscar bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Definite Oscar hype. Especially
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
Which gets
totally.
to my core thesis, which no film is good. Nothing that's won an Oscar is ever right.
Anything that then is live action, Kieran does not watch.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
simply
it's welcome
Excuse me? Titanic is a great movie.
welcome to the annual awards of which producer bribed the most significant pedophiles. Like that's what the Oscars is.
I mean,
is
you're
true.
not wrong, all right, but this is not.
I'm gonna eat this Santa.
Oh,
And Kieran has just murdered Santa.
Italian culture, murdering a guy.
Kieran just killed Santa like he's like a rat that he just found that he had to dispose of. Just
Never do
smashed
that
his-
to a rat.
50% of the.
But to the ultimate patriarch.
Oh.
I'm gonna turn off my mic while I clean this up.
7 years of good luck. 50% of the Santa's workshop was just bought by an Iraqi businessman.
So, how do we want to go about this first off?
That's a good
little
question.
bit of a plot overlay.
Yeah, I want to start with just reminding everyone that the movie was really bad. I'm not joking. It was
Yeah.
really boring. It honestly makes me doubt the
Boring?
future of movies.
I thought the movie was never going to end.
I
Oh, yeah,
sat
too, it
there-
was long.
I sat there.
it was
thinking,
literally.
It's like, when is she finally
was-
murdering him?
It was literally which is
It buried the lead.
That's
for-
not a spoiler, right?
like
Because
no,
it's
that's the
common
thing.
knowledge,
It's
right?
literally the end of the movie. And it's like that's why it's an interesting story because there's this intrigue,
Yep.
Megarika stuff, which more fun when we talk about it on the
Yeah.
podcast for 15
was
minutes.
That was the first thing I turned to when the movie ended. I was like, the longest Megarika segment we've ever done was 20 minutes.
Yeah. Never
was
complain again.
Yeah.
There are so many ways it could have started in New York City with Lady Gaga going to party. She was friends with Jackie Kennedy.
Jackie O, they
Onassis.
left that fucking
They could have
out.
just
Seriously?
Yeah,
Wait,
they could have just started with the party. No,
She was
It
friends with
this
Jackie O.
Long, boring, interminable like life story, which is
excuse
why I
me?
call it like the Wikipedia movie. Like it's like
yeah.
it is basically like
Sequel to the Emoji Movie.
it's like those 7-hour YouTube videos
I
that
really
some of us
enjoyed
watch.
the Italian landscape, okay? So don't
wasn't
cut
chocolate.
that out.
I just ate something off the ground. It's not chocolate. I thought it was chocolate. All right.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Do you want
So-
to recap it first, or like?
Yeah,
we,
let's-
we,
Yeah.
we
What
can go
happens?
through the recap. I think I'm going to pitch on the table now while we're talking about like plot structure is the only thing I was thinking about that would make this better is if they did a thing that's maybe a little bit hack nowadays, but like concurrent timelines.
Yeah.
Like where like it could have been the trial happening at the same
Yeah.
time as the marriage, at the same time as them
that
meeting
would-
and just
yeah.
like flashing between. But that would have required
Too complicated.
yeah, well, like they still overcomplicated a straight timeline, which I want to get to towards the end because it makes it seem like things that were like years apart happened days apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was suddenly so mean to her.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What happened? What happened to us?
But I think should we also introduce who are like we have 5 main characters and who acted, or we should go through the plot?
No, let's.
Yeah.
I think we
No,
should
we
go
have to
through
talk
the
about who-
actors first.
yeah,
'cause,
Yeah, because the actors
who is who
were
of
the only redeeming
House of
part of the
Gucci.
movie because not in a particularly like
Good
satisfactory way,
No.
but in a
No.
way of like, haha, that's also what we make fun of. Like, look at these Americans like doing like Italian accents and then being like, literally
We
being
do it
like,
as a-
that's how they talk, right?
We do it
Over
as a
there?
bit to like because if we didn't do it, you guys would all be like feel really insecure about how smart we were. So we just have to throw in dumb jokes. That's why we do it.
This is my fake voice. My real voice is my Italian accent.
You're code switching for
Code
us.
switch. Yeah.
Sound like Jared Leto.
The producer of the
I have a German accent and speak it fluently.
Yeah.
the producer of The Godfather famously said that you should smell the spaghetti while you're watching it. And on this, they said you
What
should.
did Jared Leto said that his blood was marinara sauce or something like that.
Yes.
I think he said something
Yeah,
like that.
he's like my blood was pasta sauce. I was
Yeah, I
like,
believe that Jared Leto said that.
He said like he's like I got so into this role and then just like named like every he's like I was sweating olive oil.
Oh my God, what's wrong with him?
We'll talk about the person he was depicting as well. Because,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been like I've never assumed that you can be racist towards Italian people in 2021. And then when I
can't.
read that quote, I was just like, we are getting so close.
So,
yeah.
no, the best way to proceed is to go through the characters in the story and then punch it up with the corner Späti
Pizzazz,
take
if you will.
on things.
Me yelling Goomba.
Because what they're doing, which is the American gaze on Europe, and
American
specifically
exceptionalism.
that Italian.
Yeah.
A lot of these accents were just foreign.
Yeah,
Like, we're
yeah,
just-
absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought they were Russian the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lady Gaga was definitely Russian.
No, it was New York. It was
not
Staten
always-
Island.
Yeah.
And the lives and the trials and tribulations of billionaires and their families.
Yeah.
Both topics.
No,
I feel like we do pretty well
the
here on this
Gucci
podcast.
family at this
Yeah.
point was simply just, how do you say, 100 millionaire.
Yeah.
Billionaire does not come into.
To everyone is locked up.
Yeah.
Like, we will be suing them for infringing on Megarica copyright.
Yes.
Like, we had gotten through the two most prominent Italian families on this show, the fucking Luxottica freaks and the chocolate freaks.
Yeah.
Now
Now we got the fashion freaks,
yeah. Now we're
garment
garment
freaks.
Ferrero.
And the glasses freak was kind of fashiony as well, but we'll get
That's why that changed to garment freaks.
yes, garment
Garment
freaks.
freaks. Yeah, but
It's all freaks here with several K's. Go with an X.
Just like the Broken Side song.
Yes.
Thank you.
A joke for only me and Nick.
Yeah. Okay, Rob.
All right, where do we start? Lady Gaga.
We start with the Middle East color grading.
Oh God!
oh my god.
Yeah. Movie starts. Milan, 1977.
Sad oud music play.
Yeah. The
Why
shot.
did they look like that? When they went into Milan City, it didn't look like that.
Yeah. The music from Dune starts playing.
Honestly, it's like it's better. It's less racist because they're like, what the whole world looks like that. It's not just the Middle
Yeah,
East. It's
it's
anywhere
woke
that's
for doing
yeah,
that.
It's anywhere that's not Burbank, California.
Yeah, but then like the highway, some reason just like looks like just like a rest stop off the side of Burbank.
I am.
Why was it so dusty?
Honestly, they should do it with everything. Like,
Okay, look, okay, to be fair, Milan's a whole. Like, modern Milan has been like ruined, but like, so I'm very interested in this because scenes later are actually filmed in Milan. Like I recognized it and stuff. I don't
when?
know if no, like it was literally the scene where she's like, "Oh, this place is too rich, we can't go in." I also thought that I was there. And I didn't go in because it was too rich. I went and ate from the van.
Kieran was walking around libraries trying to run into the scion of
Fuji, yeah.
a famous Italian
okay.
anime family.
We're getting
we're getting ahead
we're
of-
getting ahead of ourselves.
So-
Sorry.
We're introduced to our very first character.
Yes.
Of the is it
No, the first shot is Adam
It starts
Driver
with Adam Driver, doesn't
as
it?
Maurizio Gucci.
It's the longest.
It's a flash
like,
forward.
Having an
Oh.
espresso,
Like
which I
flash
believe the espresso
That's the
is
first
mentioned
shot. I forgot
3
about
times.
that. I thought it was her in the
yeah,
truck.
they have
They do a lot of
Yeah.
espressos in this movie.
Oh, I need
Like,
an espresso.
True.
Yes, it was like, I need an espresso.
Yeah.
Clearly, that was just their like word to get into the accent. I think.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you want to do a Scottish accent, you have to say "Beam me up, Scotty." Beam me up, Sky, and I'm in, and I can just do anything.
God.
But it's
Are
Shrek
you
voice.
Yeah, so yeah, true. You're right. So the first character that we are introduced to is just the very beginning, just showing off the fit. You know,
Yes.
they'll be like Gucci, a brand, beautiful garments, and it's just Adam Driver just being so sophisticated, having an espresso. As an older man, as a you know, I mean, as we find out later, and he's just head to toe, Gucci from the. Well, I guess he doesn't have a hat on, but if he did, it'd be sick. Gucci down to the socks. Like on Biggie. Wait, what's the fucking ASAP Ferg line?
Simply
Yeah, I know
no
which-
doubt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Gucci down to the socks, like I'm Biggie Papa, baby. Yeah, it is. Adam Driver is ASAP Ferg.
Yes.
All Gucci'd out and is being classy, and then he drives away on his bike, and then we don't see him, and then it cuts to
The voiceover is from Lady
trailer.
Gaga.
Yeah.
There's a voiceover from Lady Gaga that never comes back, but it's basically the whole
True.
voiceover from the trailer.
Yeah.
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 They
That's so
just-
weird.
Yeah,
Why do
exactly.
they
We don't
do that?
Go back to her perspective. She just does
There's
the whole
there's
like.
And then they just end.
there's a lot of like there's a lot of cinematic like tools that are like thrown in and then
not followed
never
through.
return.
Yeah.
Like so. Okay, the two named characters that are introduced. Adam Driver plays Maurizio Gucci, and Lady Gaga plays Patrizia Reggiani.
Reggiano, I think.
Reggiani.
Reggiani.
Yeah.
Reggiani.
I'm thinking of
Doesn't matter
Parmigiano.
because she becomes
We're all thinking
Comes
of
to
past.
Gucci, so it doesn't matter. Sorry.
And she's the one doing the voiceover.
Yeah.
And
And in the first 4 minutes, there's 4 shots of her ass in the movie.
Good.
Oh yeah, they had. I mean, like they had
had
the point
to.
of like, hey, yo, we have Lady Gaga in the movie. All right.
So here's her ass.
Here's her. Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
like that's her like biggest quality. We all know that.
And then we go.
No, what?
Nick, all right, before you say
Is
anything,
she
Nick
ass
is
famous? I didn't know she
Yeah,
was.
she's incredibly
she was,
ass famous. Yeah.
Nick is a Lady Gaga stan.
Yeah, I
if
love
you
Lady
didn't
Gaga.
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've seen her in concert
3 times.
3 times.
I went to one with you.
I like some
Yeah.
Gaga songs.
Yeah.
I'm not that.
We went-
Lady Gaga up until what is it? Well, not Art Pop, the album before that, Born This Way.
Yeah.
Great, like legit. And then after everything, I don't fucking give a shit about.
Yeah. And also, like, this is still kind of like riding
The
off.
early years of Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She sold out.
This is her Sergeant Pepper's moment. This is this very strange thing as well, which is I was having a conversation with someone that we went with that I'm not going to name because but like this whole thing of like, oh, she did really well in this A Star Is Born. I was like, yeah, but she also like did no acting before that and no acting since. And in that movie, she was playing a musician, which she is in real life.
She's
And
still.
then she also did American Horror Story though too, which she was atrocious in and won a shit ton of Emmys because they're just like
This is Lady Gaga.
exactly.
Hello.
It wasn't that she was. I guess I should take that back. She wasn't
wasn't that bad.
atrocious
No,
in
no,
it.
no.
It was just like she could be over the top and do bad acting in a show that doesn't have good acting in, and it can be perceived.
It's American Horror Story.
Exactly,
It's
but
about
it could-
cameos and stories.
Exactly. But
Spooky
it could
stories.
But it could be perceived. in
American spooky stories.
no, but Lady Gaga's character then being
Goosebumps.
really
It's adult Goosebumps.
Cosmos. Lady Gaga's character being over the top in what's it called in American Horror Story fits in like a weird like it's like a David Lynch vibe 'cause it's like gothic and it's like kooky. It's just the fact that Lady Gaga's not a good actress.
I don't think. Okay, shut up.
But hang on, I want to say though, like full disclosure, while I don't think she's good in this movie, that is also not why this movie is bad.
No, Lady Gaga's
I,
not
I
bad in
thought
this
she was
movie.
I thought she was the best thing
Yeah.
in the movie.
No.
I think the direction was terrible. I
Yeah.
think is would be
The
my
best thing in the movie was someone else who we're going to get to because it just didn't have to act.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, for those who don't know, Lady Gaga is in this movie, and she is introduced by that she is in the outskirts of Beirut, 1968. It's really dusty, and they have that filter.
And we get the Cinema Sins YouTube channel ding first anti-Italian sentiment thing in the movie, catcalled in Italian.
Everyone, all
She's
of the
walking,
men.
and they're all standing there.
Yeah.
They're lining up to catcall.
God damn it.
And
Oh
she's
my God.
like, she's loving it. She's like, Manon, this is culture.
Everyone,
Italian dude.
everyone dressed
To
like
give
an extra from
context,
Greece.
she's working in her father's truck.
Truck business.
Truck business.
Horribly classist scene.
Exactly.
mind
I was
you.
about to say, this is an interesting thing because this is the whole like beginning that you all wanted to cut, but this is the interesting shit because obviously she's not accepted by the Gucci's because her father has a
works for
truck
truck
business. This is this is Italian anti-Italianism. This is the South against the North.
And also, this is when the real world introduces. That's her adopted father as well.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah. Her
She's not even a
biological father,
Reggiani.
ran away after making her mom pregnant,
Oh, okay.
which is not something explored in the film. She's supposedly meant to be closer with her mom than her dad, but,
But
know.
also, they like the first thing we hear her say is like, "Lol, dad, you're having an affair. Don't tell mum about it." Right, with the whole thing with the checks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
The thing though too is that it's not only classist because the sense of that it is classist because of the catcalling thing. Like
Yeah.
that working class Italian men are pigs, and that they're because remember
Yeah.
when they then when she goes up into society, then the men become classier.
Yeah.
Right. There's more sophisticated
Yeah.
forms of catcalling, like Al Pacino
Oh yeah.
going on 30-minute reveries about you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the new cat. Yeah, that's the sophisticated
best character,
catcalling.
in my opinion.
It's like when you enter the Gucci store and like someone's
So-
complimenting you.
Yeah. So we have so Lady Gaga's in this. Who else then do we have to run down for the cast?
No, we're going through the plot, and we'll get.
And
to
then we'll
people.
get to people in the cast. Okay.
Keep us on track, Rob.
Yeah.
Um,
Please.
Lady Gaga meets Maurizio Gucci at a party.
Yes.
Yeah.
A friend of hers who's implied to be gay, but it's never really brought up.
It's never.
Like a lot of things in this film.
There's so many better versions of this movie.
Yeah.
But one of the better versions is like, this could be gay Avengers. Like we have like, if we're in the fashion in New York,
It is.
we have
100%.
Tom Ford, we have Karl Lagerfeld.
True.
Again, so many possibilities left on the table in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh man, imagine if it was just even like 5% gay.
Hang on. I'm sorry. Gay Avengers. Nick Fury coming out just like, I like the way you fucking do. I'm assembling a team.
Oh, I'm so sad for gay Avengers that could have been.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that.
Yeah, the
How did you
Gucci
not
extended
see that?
universe.
I think I was just searching so hard for the gay in the movie that was never going to be there because of Ridley Scott, right? Like I think I was.
well, it's
They
a
focus too
it's a
much on the
straight man
straight
making a
Gucci's.
gay movie that he thought like a straight man making a movie that he thinks is gay, but then ends up just coming off as not understanding what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
This could be the source of most of the issues. Now
yeah,
that
I
we say
think
it,
it's,
now that
it's,
we-
it's straight.
Because exactly like Rob
The
said,
director is
straight
the
up.
problem.
it is the
Ridley
sense of
Scott
like
is the problem.
what do gay men want? Gay men want to see Karl Lagerfeld with his dog at a runway show in 1990 something, where he doesn't look like how he would look like in
Nope.
that historical context.
Yes.
Anyways, just like looking like Karl Lagerfeld like the day before he fucking dies.
Yeah.
Like
Wait, was Karl Lagerfeld in the movie?
Karl
Yeah, he
Lagerfeld.
was
For a
sitting
split
on the
second,
one
yeah.
way. Yeah.
There was a shot of someone who looked like Karl just for
Yeah.
a blip
Yeah.
at the Versace show.
Yeah.
Where then Karl Lagerfeld
Versace.
is there, and to be fair, I don't know if I think they got the same actor who then played Gianni Versace in the Gianni Versace thing.
This is
yeah.
also
Yeah.
very like Marvel bullshit.
Exactly,
vibes.
like,
yeah.
you like can point and look.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
hold on.
She-Hulk in the
Gianni-
background.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
There's Gianni Versace. There's Anna Wintour. Just
There's
being like,
Hawkeye for some
yeah,
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Karl Lagerfeld.
but in the worst way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no,
Not
there's
in a
no
fun way.
There's
Where
no
you're like, oh, cool.
joy.
There's this
There's
person.
no joy in any of that
There's no
stuff.
joy in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so I think in the party scene where we see them get together introduces two things that is confusing, but also feels like they didn't know what they're doing. Which is point number one: were they actually in love? Like,
Yes.
movie is kind of confused about like whether they're actually in love or whether this has always been like a sham. And point number two is like, I guess is something you're kind of meant to notice, but they don't really draw too much attention to it. So I'm like kind of confused whether you're meant to notice it. Is that when Lady Gaga asks Adam Driver his name, he says his last name as well. And are we meant to read that as that was a mistake? You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Like, it's very it's very confused about
Yeah.
what her motivation is.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You see-
Yep.
I was gonna say you see her pursuing him, which is kind of cool in a way, but you don't know if it's because she's like, I'm gonna get that money, or if it's
Yeah.
like, this
Exactly.
is Adam Driver and I'd
Yeah.
like to kiss him.
Because when
'Cause Adam Driver's Italian
Adam Driver,
hot,
I want to kiss
which
him.
is ugly in a good suit.
I mean, yeah, as soon as he says Gucci, you don't have this moment where, as the audience, you should recognize, oh, she knows that name or something like that. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she really likes that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe she really likes to stalk guys at libraries.
It's not clear about
Maybe
that.
something.
It was like, okay, the film gets so bad so fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was one of the
Because
worst.
the bit, at least, but I mean, at least when she's she's sort of doing the bit with the book and like stalking him in the library, that's like kind of fun. But then
Right.
it's still got the Beirut colors.
And it's
It also doesn't make sense what his side of things are. Like I
Yeah.
thought it's like, oh, he's already seeing he's engaged to some
Yeah,
fucking royalty
right.
or whatever that's like arranged to like
Maybe he doesn't
high
like
society
dating.
stuff. But no, it's just okay. No,
Yeah.
now they're together.
it's kind of
it
implied
kind of-
that it's like it's the first piece of attention he's ever got.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
seems
me,
very
it gives me
possessed.
the vibes that this kid, he goes to university. He doesn't want to be in the fashion business. He wants to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he doesn't pursue women like his very extravagant, I don't know, rest of the family.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone
women,
knows
men,
if
whatever.
you sleep with a woman, as soon as you fall asleep at the end of the night, she'll just start whispering into your ears.
Exactly.
Fake rules. If you don't wear pants, you can get away with murder. and that will go in
Exactly.
subconsciously and make you a bad lawyer.
So he should, that's why he's staying away from women. It's a bit dangerous.
She's stealing my law essence.
Yeah, so
exactly.
they meet, they go on a few dates. That's not important really. But then eventually,
Some of those scenes are shot in Milan, which makes me very confused about where this movie was shot. But yeah.
Then one of we're introduced then to a character afterwards, which is then Adam Driver. Which again, time is nothing. Time doesn't exist. Maurizio Gucci, he falls in love, and he wants to introduce his this beautiful woman that he met, Patrizia, to his father.
He goes
Daddy.
into that state where how you say
Daddy Gucci.
oh god, it's what is it? It's like when the moon hits the sky like a big pizza pie.
Amore.
Yes, yeah, he
of
falls
course.
in amore.
He
Do you really just have
Yeah, I'm done with this episode now.
he how you say falls in amore.
In amore.
And 2 minutes later, in the time of the movie, which we don't know how long it's supposed to be. Time is
Pacing in this is shit.
introduces his Patrizia to his father. I forget the dad's name.
Rodolfo.
Rodolfo.
He introduces his Patrizio to his patro.
Yeah. And
Played by Jeremy Irons.
I salute this man. Jeremy Irons did the thing that everyone in this movie should have done.
Yes.
And not had an Italian accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
He
it
didn't
throws
even
off the
care.
vibe of the movie so much.
I love it. He just didn't care. I was like, what the fuck? Like, we don't do accent normally.
Yeah, because-
The thing about it that's even better is that Jeremy Irons still does the stuff that the rest of them are doing, which is not knowing how to speak English.
Yeah.
Because he does this stuff of in a very posh English accent of things like, well, how you say? And you're like,
But that was probably written into the script.
Yeah.
There's many cases in here where
Yeah.
I'm like, this seems like a script problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're doing their best.
yeah, how do you have so many? To be very fair, it's it is bravo to Ridley Scott for making such a bad movie with some of the best actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a talent to just make first off, they're all cashing their checks, whatever, they're making money. But for fuck's sake, Adam Driver's,
Great actor.
great actor.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Fucking all right. The
Lady Gaga was very good in Star is Born.
Lady Gaga's while I don't think that she's the best actress in certain things,
She's not like a terrible.
she's not terrible.
Yeah.
The worst actor in this ends up being the best character. We'll get to him later. And,
Yes.
and Al Pacino, come on. He didn't have to act in this movie. He
No,
was
he was just being.
being an old Italian man.
A different name. Yeah, so real world context, and just want to introduce these. We're at the point in Gucci as a company's history where it's owned basically by the two sons of the guy who founded it, which in theory, Italy's not a real country because Gucci was founded by a guy called Guccio Gucci. Jesus Christ.
Guccio Gucci.
Rodolfo and Aldo, we've met Rodolfo. Jeremy Irons not doing an accent, but still conveying what his character is meant to be. He's this, old actor, very rich, very kind of posh. He doesn't approve of Patrizia. Again, kind of hard to know whether you're meant to think he's right or not. He ends up ultimately being right in the
But
real
for a
world.
classist reason,
Exactly.
though. It's for
Yeah,
bullshit.
but also...
It's just the fact that Patricia's a bad person.
But the movie is not again, to Rob's point of this being the Wikipedia article movie, the movie's not making a judgment on that.
Yeah.
The movie's not telling you, oh, he's being unreasonable, or the movie's not telling you he's being prophetic.
Exactly. It's not foreshadowing.
No,
It's just,
exactly. It's just a thing a guy said in a Wikipedia article
yeah. So
in chronological order.
On to the next section.
yeah. So they marry.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Adam Driver gets cut out of the inheritance.
Yeah.
I forget the
Yeah,
exact
he
order.
Moves out.
gets kicked out.
We finally meet Al Pacino and the other main character
Yeah.
when they try to rectify this problem
Yeah.
and bring the family back together.
Yep.
It's kind of implied
Like Aldo
that
Gucci.
Lady Gaga, Patrizia is kind of facilitating this or very happy to oblige. But there's one scene we need to talk about before we get there.
I was about to say, did we skip the sex scene?
we
Oh,
skipped
yeah.
the most
How could we? How
Yeah,
could we?
hotly
Again,
debated scene.
like the movie, time it doesn't exist.
So this is the thing of also why the movie is kind of confused about the motivations of any of his characters because Patrizia takes him. Okay,
They seem pretty in love for me.
Yeah, exactly.
To me.
That's the thing.
Patrizia
They turn out to be nice and they're in love, honestly, at the start.
Patrizia takes takes him in even after he's cut out of the will, which is like, if she's being a gold digger, that probably wouldn't have happened, or she might push him away a little bit. There's
they had like a minute of being like a very cute couple in them. I actually had faith in this movie for a second when they had like their struggle session. The struggle session's differently. Their struggle moment.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, okay, there's like maybe something is like interesting going to develop, but they skip over that pretty quickly.
There's no indication on the movie's part that like Gaga knows that ultimately it'll be fine. Like there's no indication, like she's still just kind of like dating him. I also love that like later in the film Adam Driver says like, this is the happiest I've ever been in a different moment. It was like, no, the happiest you've ever been is when you were like getting into firefights with water fights with muscly men in a like Beirut truck yard and then fucking the boss's daughter.
Exactly. Like,
oh my god,
that is my man for
that
30
water
seconds.
Fight. What is that water fight about?
What do you just do?
Yeah, Adam Driver, aka Maurizio Gucci. The moral of the story is done within the first 15 minutes of the movie is that ditch your fucking bullshit bougie shit.
Yeah.
And get into water fights.
Get a fucking union job with your bros.
Who all look like they're in Greece.
Yeah. Southern European, just toned men.
The Southern European
men.
uniform, which is just the white tank top.
Exactly. Oh.
That will do you for life because he does it with a young, muscly man. And then when he goes off to fuck Lady Gaga, he's getting applauded by older men just going, go have sex.
And then,
they're also wearing the white tank top.
I seem to recall there being thumbs up. Am I imagining that? Like, there was just a big thumbs up as he's walking by.
Yeah.
There's a really great old photo from the Soviet Union of like one of the first like successful no complications birth of a kid happening in like a really rural part of the Soviet Union. And then it's really funny because the father of the baby is outside in the snow looking into the window of his baby being born, and he's just doing a big thumbs up. It's like, my baby! And he's wearing the big fluffy hat, he has a huge mustache. It's like, and there was the same vibe.
Yeah.
Same vibe in this movie.
So the vibe so the lesson that I learned very early on was stick to that life, get the union job.
He should have stayed there.
And fuck on the job with some of the most bizarre sex I've seen ever.
Oh my God.
The Adam Driver sex. This is how Adam Driver fucks in movies.
Always.
Kieran raised this point. There was some Adam Driver type sex going on.
That sounds like cop speak. I was involved in an Adam Driver related sex.
Oh my god!
I don't know how. I don't know how I managed to make it that unsexy. But like, I don't know if this is like Adam Driver or if this is how Ridley Scott also thinks sex should be. Yeah. It is truly. It just looks.
Ridley Scott was like, "So how do you boys do it these days?"
It's only the scene from Friends. So what's new in sex? But like,
oh my god!
Yeah, I like just when the woman just vibrates.
Yeah, she's vibrating like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall. Lying down.
Dude, if your girl yeah, you didn't do it. Like, I know she said she came, but she's lying, dude. If she didn't vibrate like an unloaded washing machine.
If your girl's not
dude, if she's not falling off the table like a Nokia 3310.
If your girl's not fucking vibrating so hard that there's just an audible like
It's like when the food is done in a restaurant, that thing. It's like, yes, it's done.
That's like you know,
Lady Gaga legit looked like one of those things, just like oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so hot.
Do people do that on dates now when the like table thing vibrates, you turn to your date and you go like, nah?
Good for you.
Good for you.
You like what you see?
Vibrating letter and flashing red letters.
Oh my god!
Sorry, now I can only imagine Lady Gaga strapped into the thing like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Totally.
Well, she's strapped into something, all right, because after that,
transition.
We're going to the moon with the Gucci family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget exactly how Al Pacino gets introduced.
He's talking to Rodolfo, and then he's like, "You should talk to your son."
Right. And he's then, like, he comes over and says "Konnichiwa." You ever hear about Japan?
Yeah.
Dude, Al
this is the
Pacino
concept of Japan.
is like, all right. So there's two best characters in this movie. one we're not going to get to yet. Al Pacino
Stop
is
teasing Jared.
yeah. Al Pacino's the
never,
best
always.
because he just embodies nothing.
So
He embodies himself, and he knew it. He just went into it, and it was just like, I'm going to coast on this film, and just like he kills it. He's like legitimately good in the movie, and it's just so shitty that it's such a bad movie.
I just want to say one thing, which is I know I keep bringing back to like historical accuracy or whatever, and I don't mind when films dramatize things. However, when you do that, you should be an entertaining film. This was not, so I'm going to nitpick.
Exactly.
But like that being said, from everything I've heard, to your like Konnichiwa point, that was what Rodolfo Gucci was like, apparently.
But that's
Yeah.
Rodolfo,
Aldo.
not
Aldo.
Aldo.
Aldo was
Yeah.
like that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's also like the 70s, so they're like obsessed with then like the new Japanese markets
rising
like
Japan.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The interesting part of the movies were when it touched on like the business or like the rise of. You can even say neoliberalism. Where what does Gucci mean? It's just different banks.
We
from
were talking about this
Middle East.
afterwards. That like a problem with this film was that it was kind of halfway between being a love story and halfway being a business story, and was not either.
Yeah, but I got love for business, love for the game, if you will. So
that part where
Totally
like
love story.
they made the
the business
shareholders
stuff,
vibrate on the desk. But yeah, this then leads to it's Aldo's birthday.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
yeah, he has two birthdays in a matter of 2 minutes.
Okay, historically accurate.
True. Wait,
Italian
what?
business freaks do this.
No, but, like,
they
two
make their
birthdays in
company
2
sing
minutes.
happy birthday to
But
them.
no, but it looks like you've jumped forward in time because it's two different
Yeah,
birthdays
yeah, that's
within
true.
truly 5 minutes.
Yeah, the pacing in this is a problem. So
So he has a birthday, and then he has a
He has
birthday in New
another
York.
Now my work is
So
better.
he has his family birthday.
A lot of birthdays.
He has his family birthday, and that's when we're introduced to basically the final member of the Gucci family, the fifth character in this film,
The fifth Gucci.
the fifth Gucci.
Yeah, the five Guccis could come together to create.
Paolo Gucci, played by
The
Jared
best actor
Leto.
Jared Leto,
alive. Jared Leto.
And
best known for being the Joker and Deep Corner Späti lore, playing my father-in-law in one of his first movies.
Oh shit! You told me this.
Yeah, we won't. Let's just leave those breadcrumb trails there for the fact.
Don't want to spoil anything, but the movie was Requiem for a Dream. That was John's father-in-law.
Do you know what was funny about that though?
Hey, that's in Australia, though.
Do you know what's funny about that though? Reviews of that film was good story, poor performance by the lead, Jared Leto.
Oh my god.
but
Yeah, now he's Italian Joker. That's how I felt about this.
Como se dice jokerification?
It's Jokificato. I've looked this up before. Jokificato.
Who wants to explain Jared Leto's character and performance in this movie?
Oh, God.
Who can-
Do we want to go into what Paolo Gucci was actually like first? As it
Yeah.
tastes
Yeah,
like?
let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe is-
So here we go. First of all, not fat. He was bald, but he
I see
wasn't
that.
fat. They got the hair right, but the body wrong. And also, probably actually like not incompetent and one of the most significant people in the Gucci like lineage. He invented the logo. He designed he designed the
Yo.
Gucci logo, which is all the brand
Your
is now.
son, he's a fucking idiot.
He put
can't
two
design
G's
anything.
together.
He put two G's together.
Oh my god, they did him wrong. So wrong.
Yeah, you're looking at it now.
Yeah.
It's just the hair. They got the hair right.
What the fuck?
Oh, I'm seeing this. Jared Leto's one
Yeah.
of the first ones. Yeah, no, he's a fine looking man.
Yeah, he is.
They
He looks
also
yeah.
they also say at the end of the movie that
He's super skinny too. He's an adret.
strapping.
yeah, they do make him
How we
pretty.
would- adret.
yeah,
Make him plump.
Have a little
they
extra.
make him plump. They also say at the end of the movie that he died in poverty, which is not
No.
really
Yeah, yeah,
true. No,
How are they? Okay.
The fact the real life Gucci's being more fuckable is an ongoing piece of drama
Yes.
surrounding this movie.
Yes.
I wanted to I sent it to you guys already, but for the listeners, this is a quote from Patrizia Gucci, the daughter of Paolo, not
one of his many
Patrizia Reggiani.
offspring.
talking about
fucked.
He
Aldo
had like
Gucci.
3 different wives. Yeah,
talking about Aldo Gucci, Al Pacino's character. who she says, quote, my grandfather was a very handsome man, like all the Gucci's, a very tall, blue eyes, and very elegant.
The Jeremy Irons accent.
He's being played by Al Pacino, who is not very tall already, and this photo shows him as fat, short, with sideburns, really ugly. He does not resemble him at all.
I mean, Al Pacino was never a good-looking man. Yeah, I mean, even like
He was a bit.
Yeah.
A long time ago. My mum fancies Al Pacino, so
Well, that's like your mom's into probably like weird dudes. Like Al Pacino.
like my
Mama
dad.
Parkinson, seal of approval.
I mean, I don't know.
This is
Your dad Al Pacino?
I've always said about Papa Parkinson, he's the Al Pacino of England.
there's a very strange line too where Adam Driver's character Maurizio Gucci's like, I'm half German. That makes me very like
My
tall
German
and beautiful
blood.
or something.
No, my German blood
It was,
just makes me less eccentric.
Yeah,
And compare
yeah,
that
yeah.
to Toscano, like the rest.
Yeah.
Maurizio Gucci is just busting up the calipers left and right. This movie.
There's a lot of
So.
It's
But,
post-war
Horn
Italy.
references.
so what is Paolo Gucci like in the film?
Yes.
What is Jared
Full on
Leto?
clown.
Oh my god.
Italian Humpty Dumpty.
Yes.
Yeah. Rob said this when we got out of the movie that he was the best thing about the movie, and he's right.
I think it was terrible. Like it was so.
It was so bad, but you like every
But
time
it was
he was
funny.
on screen, it was
I didn't think
so bad.
He's
It
not
was
funny
ridiculous.
at all.
I don't think it was
but
supposed to be
like,
funny.
No, exactly. Yeah. Sorry.
But then what? But then they have whole scenes which is like doop a doop. I'm an idiot.
I
Like,
agree. So
I don't even know at the beginning that he becomes like the way he's used as a sort of incompetent thing throughout. So it's literally a full on scene where it's like all you're saying about Paolo here is that he's dumb. That's the only.
I think that
He also didn't wear purple suits.
I want to qualify my
Nothing was
that
right.
He is the best performance because I think the script did him really dirty because he's like the complete like he pees on that scarf for no reason. And I guess it's supposed to be funny all of his
After
lines.
having a monologue to himself, like I'm Paolo Gucci,
Gucci.
I told you, he's
pulls
like
his dick
so-
out and pisses on
He's like
the on his
on
so
the
over
scarf.
the top eccentric.
Yeah.
But
that he seems like
Ridley
the Joker
Scott
to
has
me.
never met an Italian person.
But so I think the reason why I'm inclined to agree with Rob is more just like not that it was necessarily good actor or
Horrible.
whatever. It was more just like, oh, we're in a different movie now.
Yeah.
I got a break from whatever the rest of this was.
Yeah.
But even the movie can't be a different movie. And so those scenes where they're clearly writing him as some kind of comic relief or I don't know what, it wasn't funny. But Jared Leto's
Ridley Scott described this movie as a satire. The whole thing was meant to be funny.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
that's just
wait.
Yeah.
The murder
But that's
of
just
a
what you
fine
say.
man
Yeah.
But that is, is that,
of a
that's just the
lawyer
most
of
cop
the
out
high
answer
of the
though.
Gucci
Yeah,
Empire.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is like
It's a
this is like a
satire.
thing of like, oh, you thought it sucked? Well, yeah, that was done on
It was
purpose.
on purpose.
Yeah.
But the best parts of Jared Leto were like these strange little mannerisms he does where he's just like there's little noises he makes. He's like like after reading the line. And I'm like, I want more of that
Yeah.
rather than the
He
line.
also
The line
adds-
sucks.
He
also
does the E.
adds
He does the E.
vowel. What?
He does the E. He adds the
Oh yeah, by far the most
the
over the top
yeah,
accent.
yeah, definitely.
That was pretty funny.
I was like, damn.
I gotta
Adds
say.
vowels to the end of words that already have vowels on them. He's like Gucci.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the
As if Italians can't pronounce their own words and they have to.
so the thing all
Gucci
right.
us
Tiny language corner.
Okay.
Italian is a
Thank-
5 vowel
NPR's tiny language.
tiny language corner. Look at this tiny language.
We're speaking with Kieran Dole of the Cornish Späti podcast.
Italian is a 5 vowel language. Each 5 vowels are pronounced the same every fucking time. Which is like a big reason why they have a problem with English because our vowels are just nonsense. Business is, for example, a word where every vowel is pronounced like an I except for the I.
Sorry, I'm imagining you in this tiny desk thing. I'm imagining you singing this all to be like your Erica Badu
Yeah.
at the tiny desk concert.
So, and then the thing me doing tiny desk where I just talk about linguistics. That would be great.
Italian language has only 4 vowels.
Yes. But, and the big thing that you can always do if you just want to ever do any other accent in English is the magic E, which is like, there's a bunch of E's at the end of words that are silent, and Italians, or an exaggerated Italian accent, have the tendency to pronounce them.
Yes.
So it becomes Leica
That's what I
rather
said.
than like.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
So like, and like, for example, like,
Gucci.
that's nonsense.
That doesn't make sense. Yes.
Like, that's nonsense. And we'll get into other things of him breaking it later when he says moose.
What?
I don't know who came up with that one. Pronounces
I
mouse.
think Jared Leto himself came up with that.
Probably.
He pronounces mouse as moose.
But they can say Maurizio.
Yeah, but he can say Maurizio, which is the same like diphthong ow sound in it, and also doesn't mention the magic E, even though I'm pretty sure he says earlier.
Doesn't match the magic E.
Even though earlier, I'm pretty sure he pronounces pause, pausa. So I'm just like,
Pause.
what?
It doesn't make sense, does it?
No,
In
no.
any way.
Who's of Gucci?
Yeah, like you're just
Gucci,
you're just
yeah.
coming like Scots at that point. Like the moose is loose about this hoose of Gucci.
Yeah, he's actually Midwest. Oh, who's of Gucci?
He's from the part of England called the Black Country.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I want to see Jared Leto do like a real Midwestern accent.
I see what you mean about him being like I get why you say that he was the best thing in the movie, because in a way, because the rest of it was so bad, it was like he if everyone else met him at that level, it would have been
satire.
It would have been a
Yeah.
satire, probably.
I would have also hated it, but it
Yeah.
would have been,
It would have been like a Little Britain sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It did
Again,
feel like they were all just told to improv in
It's a
Italian
straight
accents.
man
Yeah.
making a movie for gay people that then
It was like he
doesn't know what he's doing.
it was like that he heard someone describe a Ryan Murphy show to him, and he would do like a 3-hour version of it. Even worse. So
Yep. So
There are a lot of echoes in this movie of like that just reminded me of just that movies are bad, or at least Ridley Scott
Movies
movies
are
in
bad.
2021
Movies are bad.
are
Let's
bad.
just say it
Like I was
like it
thinking
is.
about Al Pacino being like
Movies
one of his
suck.
first like famous roles is like in The Godfather under like Marlon Brando, who's playing like a whatever, like an older
Marlon
patriarch
Brando.
figure, and then it's just like, are you happy with this man? Are you really happy you're in this movie? Like, do you think that you're like completing some cycle here? And Jared Leto, like, there's so many good actors who have the same move that Jared Leto does, but all Jared Leto can do is shit like this. That's like,
yeah.
these are the kind of scripts that he's given. Like, oh yeah, you're the weird crazy guy. Here's some crazy stuff to say.
Friends with the Gucci guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's so strange
friends,
about
he's friends
it.
with the head designer who
The
looks
head
exactly
designer.
like him.
He has a line
what's
of
his name? What's his name
Show
again?
me.
Fuck.
Makes me look it up. Jared Leto has a line of perfume with Gucci.
yeah.
They're like, he doesn't
Not
think he's
anymore.
making fun of it. No, I'm sure they're all in on it.
Gucci's-
Which is
yeah. He's been the poster person for what is it, like Gucci Guilty or some shit like that.
They have
like, for, like,
Gucci
5
Guilty.
years.
but that goes to
Yes, it's
that
fucking called Gucci Guilty.
That's interesting, huh?
I'm pretty sure the Gucci. I'm pretty sure within
I think
modern.
because Jared, what's his
Everyone's
name?
guilty in that
no,
family.
what's his name? He used to be the Gucci fragrance guy. James Franco used to be the Gucci fragrance.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
damn.
the face.
yeah. And then
Not that he was like
he
making
is the
it.
face.
I mean, he has like 12 PhDs. Maybe he can, but like James Franco just gets
Alessandro
it.
Michele.
I think people just
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks exactly like Jared Leto.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
That's why they're friends.
That's not that
Yeah,
one
they're
that's holding his
friends.
head. Oh
Yeah.
no!
Yeah.
Oh, that
He's
is
like, oh, you're my twin.
I'm pretty sure the Gucci family is kind of a joke within modern Gucci.
no, but the Gucci.
Gucci
That's
is
true,
a
that's
joke
true,
in
that's a good
fashion.
point.
Like
Yeah.
I think that we have to
Oh, here we-
before.
Oh, is it?
Before,
Oh, here we go.
Fashion ho, Nick.
No. The
Fashion
thing-
ho,
the
Nick.
thing-
Fashion ho,
and we're
Nick.
back, and we're here with Nicholas Babakides,
thing that's-
the fashion hoe
So
of Corner
the thing
Späti.
that I would have believed of
Berlin
it,
Fashion Week, Nicholas Babakides.
the thing that I would have believed in the sense of it being that this could have been satire is that like Gucci itself is like fashion's in such like a weird area right now that then like hyper like self-awareness of what fashion is really in. Like Balenciaga is the best example of like
Balenciaga.
making the dumbest shit you possibly can because rich people will buy it. Like Balenciaga just is like making like you could like the fucking like the like
Same
the fucking
company. It's the same.
I know they're all owned by the same thing, yeah. But like, okay, like it's like literally like the point of like Zoolander, where he's like the derelict campaign.
Yeah.
Like we're at that point of fashion, and like Gucci has accepted the self awareness that the thing that then is appealing about the brand is that it's gaudy. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
Gucci was like 60 years ago, like fine clothes, made in the hills
Leather.
of Milan and leathers. But like companies like Brunello Cucinelli and stuff like took it over like 20 years ago. Like Gucci is gaudy and they know it.
Yeah.
And if this movie is to embody the sense of what Gucci is, it would, if it was done well, it would be camp, it'd be over the top. And it's just not.
Do we want to, because the thing to emphasize that point is on the Wikipedia page, the 3 eras of Gucci since the end of these
Look
movies.
at any Gucci runway show of the last 20 years.
I just want to name them. I just want to name them. One was Porno Chic Revival, which is at the end of this movie. The next was Gender Queer Chic, which sure I believe it, whatever. And then the third was Disney Collection. So that can just kind of like give you the trajectory.
Yeah, Gucci's really self-aware of what they are too, because one of their more recent lines that they did, like Gucci Man was the head person in the campaign.
Good.
They know what they're doing. Like Alessandra Michele and Gucci Man like literally have like an entire like campaign that they did together where like Gucci Man's getting like a massage on a table or something, and like that was like the main campaign thing. Like it's just it's irony bro shit beyond that for like hyper wealthy people that then is like just cycling in a very odd end of history sort of way. None of this matters, design doesn't seem to fucking matter because you just like, as long as you look like you're either like in the Matrix or you look like shit, you're like you're swagging it up.
Yeah.
Fucking Balenciaga released Crocs like 4 years ago. Like nothing matters. And it's simply just shock value. Like remember, too, like Balenciaga made, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter or whatnot, but like their spring or summer like trailer for their collection was like, if let's like make Cyberpunk look as cheesy and bad as possible, like the worst special effects. Like what if the Matrix was like had like a $20 budget? Like it is self-aware.
Yeah.
So, and the movie could have done that and like weirdly fit into the sense of how fashion is now. At least that type of fashion.
I want to say at this point in the movie, to get back to the plot, is where a whole lot of nothing happens.
Man. Oh my god. Yeah,
So-
we can just fucking skip over this. Like,
Because there's lots of like photo scenes for no reason.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
They,
like,
oh yeah, Adam Driver's like jumping for like 1 second.
Right, I was
a lot of these, I think, are they meant to be famous photos that we're meant to know?
Probably. It's probably a reference to something we don't know.
But that's, again, that's
Like,
a
oh, that's how
motif
that
that they
happened.
kind of
You
bring
see him
in.
taking lots of photos of her, and then they never come up again.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end with the photo album, but it's still a bit like
These are meant to
I
be.
wanted to get out of the theater as fast as I could. Maybe they showed them in a slideshow at the end. I don't know. Like,
These have to be photos that are real and somewhat famous. But again, that is like a motif that is just like picked up, kind of looked at for a bit and thrown away. And then like, so nothing of substance happens for a long time. They go to New York. There's kind of like some dealings behind the scenes of like, basically Patrizia trying to convince Maurizio for being like to be more part of the family. That's just very slow, kind of aimless, and then happens suddenly that he just wants to be a part of the family. No development there. And then nothing really happens.
Oh wait, no. Apart from her apparently like, unprompted, she sees a fortune teller on the TV.
Yeah, true. We skipped over the fortune.
We should probably introduce the fortune
before she
teller.
leaves. Yeah.
one of the
How
best
could we-
scenes ever.
Pina,
Because
how could we skip
Yeah.
Pina?
Played by Salma
another
Hayek.
thing to then mention too about this movie that it does brilliantly is in that it is an absolute train wreck. And this again, you should see this movie for the sense of like that you will be gaslit by this movie. You will
Watch it at 1.5 speed.
yeah.
Jesus.
It's so long. But the best thing is that Lady Gaga, she wants to eat. Let's say comer, but that's Spanish. Mangiare.
Yeah.
Late night snack. She grabs 2 things of ice cream and is just sitting down. And she's like,
3 things of ice
That's
cream,
when we
actually.
knew that she was
like,
pregnant,
okay.
by the way.
oh.
Da, da, da.
That is, the movie was very bad at signaling.
Yeah. I know nobody got it right.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, 3 ice creams.
Yeah.
No, 3
just
ice
hungry.
cream. Yeah.
This is millennial existence. It's like, yeah, dinner. That's what it looks like.
So she's flipping through the channels, and the thing that this movie does that is brilliant is that things that don't matter in the movie are in Italiano. Background talking, the priest when their wedding.
Yeah.
The wedding,
Everything
yes.
in Italian. But then when a plot point comes on, English, baby. So
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's flipping through the channels, and it's like the news, the weather in Italian, and then she flips the channel to the
She doesn't
fortune
actually.
teller.
Her character doesn't understand Italian. She's looking for the English
Yeah,
speaking.
exactly.
She's like me when I'm watching German TV.
She flips through the channels, and then it gets to then Selma Hayek's character, who is
Another
Fortune teller.
big name in
fortune
this
teller.
film.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
has like
for
the
no
tiniest
fucking
role.
reason.
Yeah.
I hope she got paid a lot.
Oh yeah, she's fucking. She
Yeah.
she got
Gucci.
that. She got that Baggalini.
She got the Baggalini.
English in a strong. Actually, no. I don't think Selma Hayek had to like change like much.
She basically just did
accent.
her Spanish accent, right?
Yeah. Because
Mexican.
nothing matters.
Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just changes randomly to English. So then you're like, oh, I got to pay attention now.
Which I
Like,
guess reinforces the whole idea of everyone's just doing brackets, foreign close brackets. Like that's the
Yeah.
accent. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta go.
Final thoughts? From
Final
you, Leah?
thoughts.
We can put it at the end, maybe.
Great movie.
Great movie, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Everything we said, actually.
Oscar. Definitely, I tell you.
Everything these guys
Best
say
movie,
from
best
this
picture.
everything these guys say from this point on, bullshit.
Yeah.
Stupid.
With all the like machinations in the middle of the movie, like they're trying to they like kind of bully Jared Leto's character into like being on their side by
Yeah.
like, you know, being like, oh yes, of course you can design whatever you want. And
Against
like,
Aldo.
it's your dad who's the problem.
Yeah.
And then apparently that actually happened. He actually like
Yeah.
he tipped off the IRS to what Aldo Gucci was doing. It seems like in real life he was much more of his own decision rather than whatever. Yeah, just being like, "Oh, mamma mia!" I do what the
The introduction of this
my wife.
my wife.
yeah.
He calls Lady Gaga his wife.
If he did Borat voice, at least he would have sounded like Matteo Renzi, and that would have been like a real
It would have been
accent.
more accurate to just do
Yeah.
Borat voice,
But
than
like
whatever that was.
yeah, but like that whole scene of like discovering the impropriety is very like, God, what is it? Like it is just like Jared Leto's Paolo Gucci, like looking at the manila folder and being like, Maurizio, you have to look at this. I don't understand the numbers. They are Arabic. I am used to Roman numerals. But
It's actually like not that far away from the accent.
no, like
it's
he's
truly that.
he's playing.
Ah.
Yeah,
You have to do one of those too.
Yeah.
And then Rob noticed that there's just like one scene where he just like squeaks.
He just like
Yeah,
the soy
yeah,
boy
yeah.
voice. Yeah.
They're like off screen. Yeah. But it reminds me of what the movie, again, there's an interesting plot to the movie, which is the story of like the changes in the world economy from the 70s to the 90s, where like
Yeah.
you have these, you know, different international, basically like, what is it, an investment bank? I don't know what InvestCorp.
InvestCorp.
Yeah, they're
But
no,
like-
they're an investor.
Yeah. They're like, we're still going to use the Gucci name. And so like that's kind of not unlike Trump, like that's what's kind of fueling a big part of the sales or the idea, but the machinations are nothing like whatever, this family business.
Yeah.
And that contradiction where the family in the middle gets to be like live lavishly, but then also like not really know what they're doing and get in trouble. Like that's an interesting dynamic that just is completely drained out of the movie.
Yeah, the
like
movie
that's but,
gives you a
but
wedgie
Lady
for
Gaga's character
knowing any of that,
embodies
yeah.
that because her whole thing is I'm a Gucci. You know, even though she's not, or like, but like, what does it mean to be a Gucci? That's fucking doesn't mean anything, kind of, because it's like in this flux, like change in the economy.
Again, the movie is also kind of confused about whether they want to say she actually is she crazy or cunning? Like they also
Yeah.
don't want to do that because like one of the characters we haven't mentioned so far is I've forgotten his character's name. I also don't know the actor's name, but like the right hand man of
Domenico De Sole.
Domenico De Sole, yeah.
Do you want the voice?
I don't know.
Domenico De Sole.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. There. Now he's properly introduced.
Nick's doing live
Much
translation.
Dominic De Sole.
Dominic De Sole.
Much like his last name would indicate, later in the film, he does go it alone. But like the whole
Come si dice alone?
but like the film is kind of confused about whether they present Gaga's character as being crazy or overly paranoid for thinking he was going to portray everyone, or ultimately correct because he kind of does, or at the end
He just turns evil out of nowhere, which we haven't got to yet, but it is.
Again,
It's
it's not
pretty
it's
much
not even
like-
it's not even evil. It's like it doesn't even portray him as too evil,
Exactly.
rather than just like, because you could also read all those scenes as like the Gucci family acting irrationally to his somewhat savvy business decisions.
Yeah, and he's also like, he says like, I'm also an outsider. He says that at some point to Lady Gaga. Or it's like outsiders who can see what the family really needs. The implication being he's just going to be more of a typical CEO running this business outside of whatever this.
That's also at the
family
end,
baggage.
like Chiron suggests of this guy, which is not.
Which
historically
I
accurate.
actually, now that you said it, I completely agree that the reason the Gucci company's in on the joke is because, like, how do you, like, the process from the 70s to the 90s was like fucking tapping this like syrup out of a, like sap out of a tree. Like all the like Gucci, like, oh, this is the family that you're like building this business off of. And now they don't have it anymore. Fashion's just in this continual cul-de-sac of like, well, where are you getting like, I don't know, like the
Well,
narratives or whatever. They're
they
like,
slightly
let's
hint to
bring
this-
back and parody Gucci to remind you all that this was the past of the business, even if it's not now.
So they slightly hint to this in the sense of the historiography that then's in the movie itself when the runway shows that they're on, of showing that then Maurizio's going across the world. He's going to all the fashion shows because, you know, that's what you do when you're the head of a fashion label.
If this section, the recap seems all over the place, don't worry, the movie is too.
Yeah. So he's going and he's like, you know, at like Versace, which is like, you know, late 80s, early 90s, and it's like, you know, out there and like gaudy, avant-garde. And then he meets with someone at the end. He's like, oh, like, I'm
Maybe
looking
you'll
for a
design for
designer
me,
for Gucci, this and that, you know, and there's just a nameless character, William
It's called Walter, but I
Walter.
don't know if he was supposed to be someone or.
I looked it up. He isn't. Yeah.
Oh, he's
It's
just-
even in the credits, he's
Why
just
give
listed
him
as
a name?
Walter.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
is that there then? Oh.
Yeah.
Twink one.
It was literally. I mean, like there
I
were.
mean, maybe he is, but I like tried to look into it and it
But
didn't
that's
like.
just so weird.
If you
to have
had
like
a
random
mononym,
man.
would you pick Walter?
Yeah. No,
that's avant-garde, my friend.
Okay, fair enough.
Walter.
So this
is not my
this
world.
character Walter speaks in for a second, like that no one wants to work with Gucci. It's old, this and that, and that, which was true, and that for the company, exactly for right, like between the 70s and 90s, like this world around a company that then was, you know, known for fine garments or whatever that they were worn by like the wealthiest people in Europe primarily. Yeah, like they had to do the neoliberalism. Like late, it's the 90s, you know, or whatever the
Neoliberalismo.
it is literally neoliberalism.
That guy must have been someone's nephew or something because there's no reason for him to have a speaking part that long. There's not many people in the movie, and like the idea of just giving him that long of a scene.
Did he also come back later? Was that
No.
meant to be him in the background at the Porno Chic revival show where he's actually impressed by? Because I thought that was him again.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him again. And
It was like
I-
for a split second of just like
one of my-
another blonde, beautiful man just being
there
impressed
was.
by.
Well, this is the thing when they sort of. That's why I thought one of those might have been.
I'm horny for everyone in this film.
Well, because I brought two gay men to the film, and one of them was not impressed, and one of them turned to me every time there was someone hot on screen and held my hand, which was lovely. So I was keeping track, and that guy didn't come back again.
This friend of ours was the person who said during the Adam Driver scene, "Is this what straight people sex is like?"
Yeah.
And you didn't answer that, but if I'd known that question, it was happening, I would have turned to him and gone like, "Yes."
Oh no, I said unfortunately.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's all about getting your girl to vibrate.
I have some production info. I find this interesting because my brain can't handle actual history.
Sure.
So, as kind of expected, guess when the film was first like supposed to be directed. Was first in the pitch.
28.
It was early, yeah, right?
2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Ridley Scott was supposed to direct it in June 2006 with Andrea Berloff writing, which I think she was the
Who would have
eventual
been
person.
cast?
Already family not into it. Angelina Jolie and Leonardo DiCaprio rumored to play the leads.
This movie would have been weirdly worse
right?
somehow.
Like I can sort of see it, but I guess
No, this movie.
But
This
I
movie
assume-
Patrizio Reggiani like doing the thing from Wanted where she makes the bullets curve, like swinging.
yeah.
I assume that already at this point it would have been Italian accents though, right? Like anyway, but at least it would have made like that would have been more of a 2006 film to be like
No,
we're going to
this
get
film
all the people
came
together
out
to
at
do
the perfect
accents.
time.
But then this was like, but then that's not even all of it. Sorry, I'm going to go more. in 2012, it was going to be Ridley Scott's daughter, Jordan Scott, instead, and Penelope Cruz playing Reggiani.
Yep.
Then November 2016, Wong Kar-wai was going to direct it.
Oh shit!
Which, like, incredible.
That
And
might have
then-
been actually been better.
That would have been way better. And then Margot Robbie was considered for Reggiani, but then Ridley Scott came back in again 2019, and so
I want to
Why
say,
was this movie should have just been like shot and killed like
I want to say
years ago?
I want
Yeah.
to say visually, out of everyone suggested so far, Lady Gaga looks the most like actual Paritzia. Like Margot Robbie is just very wrong for the part. I guess just like that.
She would have been horrible in a sense that like it makes no sense. Yeah.
It kind of feels like whoever the producer had a crush on with that list of names is just
Yeah,
what was
what-
happening
wait,
there at the time.
What year was that? 2016?
2016 was Wong Kar-wai, and then it went back to Ridley Scott in 2019, which by this point is 13 years already, like in the making.
God.
In
Like,
weird production hell.
The reason Wong Kar-wai is interesting is because like the movie seems like it should be more upbeat, but it's so drab. Like I don't know if it's because of COVID, they can't have extras or like all the like the parties. Everything feels kind of like drained of like excitement. Like it doesn't feel like a sick fashion party.
Yeah, no, nothing seems
that
like
was my impression. at
weirdly
least.
nothing seemed extravagant like
A lot
the
of-
entire time.
I would also say a lot of
Whereas Wong Kar-wai could pull that off. I
I
feel,
would say a lot of the actors also don't
with the
have
same tone.
chemistry. I think one of the things that happens for me partway through the movie is, and I guess this is possibly the next event of like when the plot kicks back into gear, is when the marriage starts falling apart or like they start to hate each other.
all of a sudden. Like,
yeah, again,
No, it was immediately after the Italian IRS comes to the door and is like,
the
"What's
I-
going on?"
the
And then
IRS, huh?
Adam Driver,
Yeah. And
Adam
then he-
Driver's pissed.
SRI.
Motorbikes to Switzerland,
To Switzerland.
which was fun.
again,
Yeah,
Well-
what the fuck was that scene? Just
Yeah.
like, oh,
No, that was cool.
I got the sense that just happened like every weekend.
yeah,
It was,
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
in
Just like, oh, just like
Switzerland.
there was no tension.
Yeah.
There's like
He
no
just-
tension in any of this film.
But he just like
Yeah,
hops
yeah,
on his
there
bike
isn't
and then
any.
like 2 minutes later is just like, oh, Maron, I'm just in fucking Switzerland.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like this whole plot line because it involves Allgäu GF magic, which I
Oh.
understand.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
biased.
This theory we'll come back to in a minute. But first, I just want to say that why this is the part of the film that kind of like kills it for me. Like it's
This is where the movie just went
Okay,
down
hey,
for Kieran.
hey,
You know, everything else that we said before, Kieran was like, all right, you
Give me a-
know,
give me a
I don't
second.
know nothing about the Gucci's, but
Hear
so
me
far,
out.
no,
Hear me out.
Kieran was 100% in the film, but then this was no.
I'm listening.
Okay, the only thing that you could hold on to the film, and again, like the whole like their marriage is failing is weird, and all of a sudden because it's also unclear whether their marriage was successful or always a sham, like
Yeah.
we said earlier, which is weird. But the only thing that gave you any joy in that film, the only thing that ever seemed to have life, was the two of them being happy together in certain scenes.
Yeah.
That is the only bits of joy in this film, like her dragging him into the bathtub, or like the weird blowjob in the car scene with the plane tickets.
That was
Yeah, we
sick.
missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
New
dope.
York.
Or like
go to New York.
genuinely
New
like
York.
nice moment of like her telling him he's going to be a dad.
Yeah.
That was also like second dollar completely written out of the movie.
I was wondering.
Every character is an only child in this
I like
movie.
literally that was what I got ripped out of the movie. I was
Yeah.
like, this is far too
Italian excellence.
far too few children
too
for
few
a Catholic
I
family.
think it's one
This
child
is-
policy
Yeah, exactly.
post-war Italy.
So like
Yeah, Comrade Draghi with his.
but this yeah, so like that was the only bit of chemistry, because I agree with Rob, there is like no life in that film, especially after that moment, because
Yeah.
like I think the only other little bit of chemistry is like maybe Rodolfo and Aldo being like grumpy old men together.
Yeah.
That's kind of like interesting, but then like we didn't mention, but like Aldo died. So
Rodolfo.
Or Rodolfo died.
No. Also, Aldo dies in the movie just like in 1990.
Yeah.
And
They don't show up.
Yeah, they're just like at the end of the movie, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, he died like 15 years beforehand.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
So yeah. So but we should probably get to Rob's theory. There are two wolves inside you: treacherous southern Mediterranean woman and Allgäu girlfriend.
What's
yeah.
Allgäu?
Allgäu is the the southern tip of Germany in Bavaria.
The Alpine region.
And
of
I've just
Bavaria.
been fantasizing about having a 6-foot-tall blonde Allgäu girlfriend.
Oh, Camille Cotin's. What?
Yeah. But then she's actually short, so doesn't quite get
Also,
there.
she in real
But
life she was.
There was a
she's
video
like,
on Eurovibe.
she's short in real life, but when she's like skiing, and then Adam Driver's like, "Oh, the German half of me calls. I can ski in the mountains with blonde women instead of dealing with Lady Gaga."
That woman's Italian as well in real life.
No, she's
She's
French.
French.
She's French?
yeah.
Camille Cotin, she was in Call My Agent. Any
No,
friends?
no,
listen to
no.
the pod?
Sorry, in real life.
Oh, real life.
Paola.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry,
I'm
sorry,
still
sorry. Yeah, that real life.
I told you my only knowledge relates to actor names.
Yeah, bullshit.
I can hear
What has
the
this led you to? It's
Albacon.
led you to Jared Leto in a fat suit. This is what your knowledge has brought you.
Also, she only joined the cast in January of this year.
Oh, great.
They literally were just like it just made me white. All she
Oh
does
shit!
is
There's a third one.
when they were doing reshoots or
like,
what?
apparently
Like,
filming wrapped in May of this year.
Yeah.
And the pre-production was still going on in February. So I guess they were just like, "Oh, BT Dubs, you want to be in this movie now?"
Yeah.
Which is why all she does is turn up and kind of like angle her face in certain ways that we're supposed to think either she's evil or she's fine.
Again,
or
no
project whatever
implication.
you want onto
Yeah.
it. I mean,
They also dramatize their divorce in a way that's not what happened in real life. Apparently, Patrizia thought the marriage was fine up until he went on a business trip and then basically sent her a letter being like, "Lol, JK, we're getting a divorce," which is more true to Italian excellence, I think, of like the Mediterranean. Just end my marriage now.
I always end my marriages via fax.
Yeah, I see him.
as a proper German.
Yeah.
He wasn't a man enough to send him a fax.
No, it is like it's like everything we've talked about, like the president of Portugal who's like currently dating someone who isn't his wife, but he's not going to get a divorce because he's a good Catholic.
Maron, I get it. Like, you know,
Or is it more like knocking up his aide?
good Catholic.
So it is a lot of just like, I don't know, it like the way the actual story in real life, it really does sound like Maurizio went outside, saw another woman, looked at his wedding ring, and went, "Damn!"
there's no build up. It's literally just the ski. I guess your theory about the German half of him calling makes the most sense because all it is like there is a woman skiing there now. At first, I was like, "Oh, did Lady Gaga go blonde because she's just wearing a
Yeah.
thing?" And I wasn't paying attention to the butts, so I didn't recognize it from that.
I have face blindness. I tell everyone by their ass.
So the rest of the movie like doesn't matter anymore. Like,
True,
it doesn't. Like,
The middle of the movie didn't matter. The last bit of the movie gets into a lot of stuff. Like in the actual events, if they talked about that more, would have been a more interesting film.
the thing though is that then like throughout the movie too is that they just kind of like weirdly don't hint, like they just throw it in there. Is that then Lady Gaga then hires the psychic to be her friend,
Who she meets with periodically.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like no, like
They don't really explain
they
that
don't
at
explain
all.
that at all. Just like so
She's just around.
She's
you
rich
see
now
the
and
lady
therefore
on
trying-
TV,
Yeah.
and you're so wealthy. You're like, you are TV lady, be my friend.
I would do that if I was rich.
They don't really. It's
Yeah.
It's sort of. It doesn't. It looks like they kind of want to use her sometimes as a framing device or like again more like foreshadowing. When all that really happens is they have
Lady Gaga has no friends.
Lady Gaga has no friends.
But also,
but
this also leads to one of the things I said after the movies of like this film is Italian realism because the psychic is right.
the sidekick has like a seems that it's like
In the
crying
narrative of the
and
film.
apparently has like a vision of the affair happening.
Yes, yeah.
But
He
then-
sees Maurizio and Paola fucking.
Apparently, yeah. And then but
Also,
then it doesn't,
if my
later
cousin
on
was called-
seems to be.
If I had a cousin who was basically my brother called Paolo, I don't think I could get with a woman called Paola.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why is she called Paola? Because I don't know. I mean, I doubt Paola can be real.
No, she's real.
Oh, she's real.
She's-
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you were just saying. But then, yeah, and then like the film doesn't decide. I mean, if the film had decided that psychics were real, that would be great. But then she
Yeah.
goes right back to being like, oh, she's a scam artist because she's like, oh, let's go to the Cayman
When
Islands,
it's
then we'll figure this out.
convenient for the plot, yeah.
Also, just another fact: Salma Hayek is married to the CEO of Gucci's parent company.
So everyone through this
He's in on
has some Gucci connection.
Yeah, and she was
Yeah, my-
only added to the
yeah,
cast.
I
in
don't
March.
My
get it.
artist
It
name is
it's a
Gucci
bad
Connection.
movie.
Also,
Yeah.
was there another?
It's true.
No, it was Versace. Wasn't it the other one? It wasn't Yves Saint Laurent, was it?
Which one?
There was like the other fashion show. Was that Versace or Yves Saint Laurent?
In the
In the movie when he like talks to the twink who's like Gucci's trash now.
Versace.
Versace.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they have to show they have to show you your little Marvel moment where Gianni Versace comes out.
Yeah, because like I was going to say if
Yeah.
it was Yves Saint Laurent, that's the same company again.
Which, to be fair, the guy that they find, I think they found this. They used the same actor that they used in the Versace. I already said this. But
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
look. I mean, looked a lot like Gianni Versace. Like, bravo on that casting, at least. Like, you found one character who looked like the person they're supposed to portray for 2 seconds.
So we now get into the plot, into, I guess, the home stretch, which is like an hour and a half long or whatever.
Murder.
Yeah, no.
Hit him with the
What I
murder.
consider kicking off the end of the movie is a scene that, again, I don't know when the shooting took place, but like clearly, like their first idea for representing the Invest Corp, this Iraqi
Oh my
businessman,
God.
where they're in a room.
Iraqi owned, but based out of
All right.
Bahrain, I think.
I'm assuming
Kuwait.
just because it's chronological that this was first.
Yeah.
The main character and his two business associates are all in red sweatsuits, like kind of sitting,
Yeah.
like kind of like hunched over, and there's soccer playing on a big TV. In the background.
Football for you Europeans.
Excuse me.
I had
yes.
no idea who they were. I mean, I did stop paying attention anytime it was a business part of the film.
Yeah,
I
no, but this
did not
one though,
absorb
this
it,
one
and
was
I
really
didn't know
like
who they were.
what this film showed is that Gucci is the spice to the Arab man.
yes, absolutely.
I could not track like those characters at all because it does feel like he tricks them with a shoe. It's like
Yeah, he's like my company is failing. Horrible to invest in, but you know what I'm gonna get you? I'm gonna get you a Gucci loafer.
He does the same Italian magic with the shoe that brings Pinocchio to life.
Yeah, and it like
Classic
it's,
Italian magic.
it's weirdly one of the. I mean, like I don't know how the actual thing goes down. They do get bought by this company. This is true.
Yeah.
So this
But-
company buys the 50% that was at one point owned by the Aldo Paolo branch of the family.
Yeah. But the fact that they just like I don't know if it was like intentionally racist or just by
Well,
accident.
because then afterwards they're in suits and they're like, "We're businessmen." But the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
scene is like,
it's like, oh, you're Arabs, you like Gucci. And they're just like, they just froth at the mouth. They're like, their eyes are like blue from all the Gucci that they.
I was telling Nick when they touch a Gucci shoe, it's like when the cops touch fentanyl. Whatever, they just start convulsing.
Pass that, yeah. But I guess like
know
that.
they were Arab until the end of the movie when they're speaking Arabic to each other.
He mentions that it's
You see, I knew from their blue eyes and
yeah. This is just Soleil's plan. He mentions that they're Iraqi. That's like the only passing comment.
Yeah.
They're
Real guy
based out of Kuwait.
is the real guy. Did you look him up?
Yeah.
He's from a pretty well known Iraqi Turkmen family. They were like rich during the Ottoman period.
The Iraqi Turkmen entry in Turkish.
He like left after the coup and then came back, and then the Baathists took over, and then he left again.
Yeah.
Went to school and never went back.
The-
So pretty typical businessman stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
So like, I just want to say like that scene of them watching the football and whatever, and being in the suits and kind of
being Ridley Scott's idea of just Arabs.
yeah, probably being schlubs or whatever. Like that's kind of hinted as being like, oh, Gucci's kind of falling from grace,
Yeah.
but then they're like happy that the deal goes through, and the whole movie.
And they turn the company around, kind of. I mean,
they
in the
do
future.
kind of, but like also not. We can get to that in the end, but like so. This home,
Well, they didn't turn the company around for typical just Italian swarthy financial bullshit. Like, to be fair,
money crimes.
money crimes, and the fact that then like Maurizio Gucci gets money and just doesn't know what to do with it. So he does the typical Italian thing of being great with money.
buying a DeLorean.
Like buys a Lamborghini Countach.
Is that not what it was with the special doors?
Yeah, that was a Countach.
Because
Okay, well,
the DeLorean
for my
doors.
purposes,
And we're back
No, the
at
Countach was
NPR.
more
We're
sensible
speaking
because
to
it went.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
The Countach doors went up. The DeLorean doors went up and out.
You
which
think
meant
that
if you were parked,
you think
couldn't.
that a gaudy Italian man would buy an American car?
I don't see cars.
Made in Ireland.
Yeah, I don't see color with cars. Okay, they all come from
They
the
all-
great factory in the sky to me. All right, they're not.
all cars
there's
are-
no. There's no.
special doors.
All cars
for
are
their
from
DeLorean.
Africa.
Let me be clear. I don't see Japanese cars and Korean cars. I don't see Italian cars and French cars.
So
They're all just cars.
the last stretch of the movie,
Cars too. Great movie.
the last stretch of the movie, which sure I agree with Rob. This is like that's the opening scene for what is. The other thing about this is it's about 7 years worth of events
Yeah.
that makes it seem like it happens in like 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
This is like when the
Suddenly
pacing
accelerates.
gets fucked up.
I just love the part of I mean, the film makes no sense, so I'm gonna make no sense here.
Yeah.
Where they're like sitting him down and being like, your financial,
Sure.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
like your spending is bad. And just Maurizio Gucci sits there. He's just like, I could justify all of my payments that I've made, and there's like lists off like 8 houses, 4 supercars, like king. I mean, regardless of whatever the reason is that he got that, yes, I want to hear why you need a Lamborghini Countach and a Ferrari F40.
Yeah.
Like,
They do also like because it makes it seem like that we've got to know these characters within the space of like the sort of first 2 years that they spend a lot of time on, and then they suddenly become completely different people.
yeah, they become psychotic.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, because it's so weird too, especially with the sense of him is that like he's like this like very like giving off like nerd vibes of it, like like.
It's been like a moral compass for the family or whatever.
But he's actually
this whole
just
time.
like, at the end of the day, he's just Italian. He can't spend money. He jackhammers his wife. Cat calls not
Jackhammer is what they call it.
always jumping around things, having like random pictures taken of him in his office or whatever in black and white.
Again, I think we're meant to know that photo. So, okay.
Yes.
I want to say the last stretch of the movie and the events that they jam into all of this. I just want to list off the events they jam into. Again, I think could have been stretched out into an actual interesting movie, because this, I think, is where a lot of juicy details happen. So this is when like the rest of the family's pushed out. InvestCorp comes in. The Gucci brand is saved. Maurizio is finally pushed out of the company. Concurrently happening with Maurizio and Patrizia separate. She goes on like Sex in the City brunch time with her psychic friend.
She sort of pretty much disappears from the movie for the last 40 minutes.
A little bit, then plans a murder with a Sicilian and a pizza truck driver. Those are what their actual jobs were.
I mean, you're in Italy. You had like the years of
job was
lead
being
like
Sicilian.
10 years beforehand. You could find
Job
it
was being
better.
Sicilian.
That's also interesting because what's going on during all of the revelations and even this thing is what, 95?
Yeah.
This is also like clean hands trials.
No, this is the thing. This is what the movie fucking thinks is happening. This is not 95. This is 88, 89, 91. Like 95 is when the film ends, but the event that happens, the last event we see before Maurizio's killed, is a 3-year gap.
I think it's
Yeah.
I believe it's 89 they buy InvestCorp buys 50%, and 93 they buy up
No, okay.
all the rest of the
80s
shares.
87 is when they push out the family, that side of the family.
87?
Yeah. 88 is when InvestCorp comes in. The Porno Chic revival show is 93.
Okay.
Because that's so weird, because then, wait, so
For
they
the
showed him being pushed out after the Porno Chic show, or was it the other family? Or no,
It was like the day. It was like
that's when Aldo and
it's implied it's the night. It's
Yeah.
implied it's the night of the.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
show,
that's
'cause
then that's
Tom
when
Ford is there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
And it's
You're
all-
for
Well, I was very happy they
for
name dropped him because I'm
gay-
like, this is supposed
gay
to be someone
Marvel.
important.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
who
yeah.
this is.
Just like,
also-
show us a photo of a beautiful
Hang on,
man.
Also,
Okay,
one
we'll
other
find
thing
it.
about this is that like an offer was made to Maurizio, like basically the offer they give him in 93 after the revival show. The same offer is basically given to him in like 1990. It's not like a surprise that this wing of the company kind of wants him gone. Like his reaction is kind of like, where did this come from? And like, no, it's yeah.
It's like,
And also, other thing that they don't do very well is Patrizia and Maurizio get divorced in 94. They were separated from like 85 onwards.
85?
Yes, Catholic. Divorce bad.
Oh my god! So that's a full 10 years before he's murdered. Then she's
Yeah.
just like thinking like,
She's separated.
Yeah.
Which is also she's separated, but like that's also like the reason why the murder happens, because they officially get divorced in 94, and we see the scene where Dassault gives the divorce papers, which again they get the timeline confused because he does that after Maurizio is pushed out of the company. Makes it seem like it was happening before, and that is also like why he's murdered in 95 is because he was going to get married to Paola.
because it's
Yeah.
weird that they
Well,
don't really. Yeah.
massive plot hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to talk about this?
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff here.
Patrizia Gucci, they leave out her entire stint of brain cancer that she had.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, where she was like hospital ridden and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably why she just disappears for 45 minutes in the movie.
She also gets her actual sentence reduced because
Yeah.
she claims that the brain tumor was affecting her judgment.
Yeah.
But
I would have hired better hitmen if I didn't have cancer.
I would've- yeah, I would-
I wouldn't have hired that pizza delivery.
Yeah, I would have fucking got. Yeah, Gucci probably has Gladio connections too.
yeah,
You
like I
could've
got some
gotten better.
ex-Foreign Legion
Yeah.
guy from
Yeah,
France.
come on.
Yeah, instead of asking the psychic, do you know anyone? I have multiple, like fucking what's the Italian security? I got fucking NATO and CIA contacts in my Rolodex. I don't know why I'm going through this.
No, I'm gonna find two guys who they meet on a farm.
I got some SRI connections or SAR. The other thing that's also the other material reason, which is given as like the actual reason she did this, which again is not talked about in the movie.
It's not at all talked about.
No, not at all. There's no motivation for the murder really, other than she's a crazy.
You just see her crying like 2 times, and she's like, "Time to get."
Oh, here I go, kill it again.
Yeah,
Same for me, honestly.
for the entire time she was separated from 85 until like Maurizio's death, she was on a like
You mean his murder?
his murder. Yeah, murder's a
He
death.
made it sound like he just like passed away.
Yeah. Sicilians are a force of nature.
Yeah.
Your insurance won't cover that. Act of God.
And probably in Italy, they probably mafioso related death.
It's like a wild boar.
If you're a lawyer, automatically no, you're not covered by any mafia related deaths.
We're not paying out for that.
Yeah, yo, but I got my mafia insurance. Oh well, you see.
That's why lawyers get paid so much. You won't be insured.
It's like an anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting yourself
So
into.
the thing that's happening in that entire time that she's being separated is she's getting an alimony payment from Maurizio of 16 million euro a year. As just like, this is the payment for you and for Alessandra. And the second child that's never mentioned in the movie. Yeah. And
I don't know if that's enough money. Like,
not for her lifestyle. But the thing was, there was a condition. When he got remarried,
you know how many Bugattis I can
when
buy?
he got remarried,
8.
it would
Not
be
enough.
halved. That's why she fucking did it.
And she can't live off of half of what did you say?
can't live off
1.6
4
million?
Bugattis.
She's quoted as saying, she's literally quoted as saying, with that amount, like the like 8 million or whatever, that's not enough for lentils. She's quoted as saying it's 8
lentils.
million
She
a year.
means 4 Bugattis.
Yeah.
If you store your lentils in Bugattis,
Yeah,
Like it was
exactly.
the early 90s in Italy, the
Actually,
lentils market.
my Bugatti doubles as a storage space. So
and
all
also,
16 of them that I buy every year,
my
I'll go down to
pantries.
8.
also
Bugatti.
last scene in this movie is her on trial, or like the first day of her
so weird.
first day of her trial, and her final line is like, you know, getting the judge to like call me Mrs. Signora Gucci or whatever.
Call me Miss Gucci.
Just out of nowhere. Okay.
Yeah, which again implies the motivation the movie was never hinting at before,
Exactly.
really. And like, again, like all of those events alone are a movie. Like,
Is there a rapper named Miss Gucci?
No. But why
Okay.
Miss
Well,
Gucci in particular?
Well, because
she's Miss Gucci.
She's Miss
Signora
Gucci.
Gucci.
Yeah.
Miss
Signora
Gucci is a good
Gucci.
rapper.
Gucci.
We have a lot of good ones. I think Money Crimes is also a good
There
rapper.
was one. There's like literally a line that then like they want that Gucci money, and I was like, I wish I was next to Rob at that time of the movie.
Yeah, my money real
My
Gucci.
money, real Gucci.
So the thing is with the pacing of the film, I think I said this to you, that like the film it most reminded me of is not a film. It is the Netflix produced Diana the musical, which
Christ.
I very bravely watched. You're welcome.
It's about Diana Ross,
we
right?
also bravely watched this, so
Well, it's,
we're braver than the troops.
it's like, well, I was anticipating it being a fun hate watch, but what's so weird about it is it does this thing where it goes chronologically through everything that happens, which I didn't realize how weird it was until I watched it. Apart from also it is literally a musical about Princess Diana, which is another reason why it's very it truly feels like a 30 Rock idea.
Yeah. It's a white phrase.
It
It's a black
literally-
phrase.
There's something, no, musicals. First of all, there's like is it a musical? Have you seen these advertisements for the Rain Man musical? or something.
No.
It's in Berlin. I took a photo of it. I'll show you.
You don't mean
Took a photo of
the
the
musical that they make and It's Always Sunny of Dayman and Nightman.
Yeah.
No, there's a musical epidemic.
There was a Brexit
I haven't been
musical.
to London in 3 years, but my first impression is why are there so many musicals everywhere? I do think it's the sign of there's something wrong when there's that many
We
musicals.
need very like clearly signposted fun and excitement.
It's like one of those like kind of ahistorical trends that some people tell you are like, oh, this is how you could tell the Roman Empire was going to fall. Like they were suddenly getting really into like fighting crickets or something.
I'm sorry, the Rain Man is not a musical, but there is a production.
no.
Yeah. Musical culture
You
is
haven't
tell
seen this?
from the fucking photos.
No, what the
That's-
fuck is
You
that?
haven't seen ads for this? I saw at least two.
No. The early
Rain Man in Berlin.
2020s
What is
society's
the,
obsession with musical meant
it-
that everything was about to collapse.
Is it Zoolander where it has like Simple Jack as one of the?
Yes,
That's the
Tropic
Berlin
Thunder,
version.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder, Simple
Yeah.
Jack.
Oh boy.
It does seem like a 30 Rock, like, you know, Black Frasier, MILF Island kind of show idea. So, yeah.
And also, I think just for the listeners, the House of Gucci moment, which I was waiting for this entire time, because I got very excited about it and I saw the film was coming out. I watched the trailer a million times. Very good trailer. I am very
Way better
easily
than the
tricked
movie.
by trailers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's the point of them?
I mean,
The entire... Okay, hang on.
It sounds cool.
The entire movie industry is based on the simple concept that no one is psychotic enough to ask for a refund for a movie ticket. You will see anything. We get you in the door, we have you now. Look, Ant-Man's gonna fuck She-Hulk. You don't give a fuck. We hired all these amazing directors for the Star Wars Episode 9 and then fired them all for the last two because fuck you, you'll come to anything.
that was going through my head for like 3 hours. But then, yeah, I was like
Broken
ready.
industry.
I want to just like underline that the throughout the film I'm normally a very quiet film watcher in the cinema. I respect the space of the theater. I was
the theater
upset when I saw Kieran
will
checking his
never
phone
respect you.
almost immediately.
Yeah.
But people were having full blown conversations because it was fundamentally House of Gucci. But
we can talk about some of the cinema.
I was ready to start screaming after. I was prepared for the Father, Son, and House of Gucci line. I was so primed for it, and then when it happened, it was so
so
fell so
underwhelming.
flat. Yeah,
It was
Do you know why?
It
was so
Do you know why it
depressing
was
at this
completely
moment.
overshadowed by the fact that was the same time that Jared Leto said moose twice when he hit the same mouth.
And that's also where he gives the like.
yeah. He's just like just a horrible, just
Yeah.
thick as grits.
I
performance.
think that we've given our.
I want to talk about the one moment that saved the entire film for me.
Okay.
It was me and Rob sitting beside each other, and it was when the Sicilian man pulls the gun and says, Signora Gucci, and
Signor
like
Gucci.
as he pulls out the gun, someone right beside Rob just goes, "Oh no!" And we were like, "What?"
Are you at all invested in this right now? Really? 2 hours and like 31 minutes into
But it's
this?
also like, did you not know what was going to happen? Also, I want to point out that, like, even though he's pushed out of the company, he was shot and killed in front of, like, the Milan headquarters for Gucci. So, like, he was obviously going into the office. He was still doing stuff.
Who kills someone that's like downtown Milan and like just like the midday?
I can't believe they got caught.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did they like post on Twitter beforehand? Like, yo, about to do this hit.
It was live streamed.
Just like-
This was before the Milan police had, like, the Bugatti cars that they have now, and they're completely jacked and filled with like 1 million guns. Back then they had the like car from Only Fools and Horses with 3 wheels and like, I don't know, like accordion music would be played by a tiny monkey called Giuseppe, and every time they had to chase after a criminal.
yeah. Well, somehow still Lady Gaga got arrested,
Yeah.
and a very short sentence actually. She's out.
Yeah, she was out after 18 years. I
Yeah.
believe.
She was very upset that Lady Gaga didn't come to meet with her.
Lady Gaga made a very specific thing that she didn't ever want to meet her because apparently she's incredibly like manipulative.
Sure.
Oh.
Like
Film was also very bad at conveying that.
Yeah. So Lady Gaga didn't want to meet with her because she just wanted to like look at interviews and then like do that way. Because apparently Patrizia Gucci is like a horrible person, and is very good at like getting into people's heads and shit like that. So Lady Gaga was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to.
That would have been cool if we'd seen that.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
yeah.
Like,
That would have been a better
honestly-
movie.
Honestly,
Oh, wow.
Lady Gaga could have learned a thing or two from.
Como se dice Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to. Josie's right. I'd like to see that movie where like House of Gucci is a fictional movie in the universe, and it's about like I don't know a Silence of the Lambs situation
Yeah, exactly.
between Lady
Yeah.
Gaga
Oh, that would be so
Prince Sebastian.
good. Oh my god.
Any
Every moment I am locked in here, another member of the Gucci family will die.
that's all right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Oh man.
I have killed your precious Jeremy Irons.
Do you know the head of Ferrero Rocher? I gaslit them with this in my Bugatti.
I killed his son in South Africa on that bike riding trip. Jamaica bobsled. That's one away from me.
Come, brother. Come. Let's ride the little black diamond, brother.
I love rich people deaths.
I drink a Chianti in the ski lodge.
It's just Hannibal Lecter in full Gucci.
Hannibal.
Dude, fucking Hannibal crossing the Alps again. Let's go. Worldwide domination.
So,
Oh my God.
You want to understand your killer? Give them a pair of Gucci.
yeah,
They're
Just
rocky.
getting people to make loafers from.
Yeah,
That would
exactly.
be,
yeah. So,
Yet another better movie this movie could have
yeah,
been.
absolutely. I mean, I think I said it before at the beginning of the podcast. It's hard to remember, but I think this movie would have been better if there was like concurrent timelines.
No, this movie.
I
This
think
movie was art.
The other thing, we mentioned this earlier, and the one that I found the most genuinely insulting to the audience of like picked up like theatrical devices that they then just abandoned, like the whole like showing you real life photos they kind of played with, the voiceover at the beginning of the film, which never comes back. That song
also-
wasn't actually in the film. The thing that was the most insulting was the beginning of the scene where Maurizio dies. For the first time ever in the film, they show you a time and date. And you're like, yeah. So it's like, okay, so this is the death scene. And it's still surprised that fucking goober beside Rob.
they have Milan 1978 or whatever at the start, and then they have like
Milan,
Time to Die.
1995.
Yeah. Instead of I didn't know the difference between New York and Italy part of the time. I didn't know like what was happening
Because everyone was
I mean,
speaking English as
everything English
normal, and that's
throughout.
meant to be Italian.
Yeah.
We don't know when they're actually speaking English, which would have been funny. I think I was talking to one of our friends about it. It would have been a better movie if they did unaccented English when they were speaking Italian, and then just stupid Italian voice when they're meant to be speaking English.
Brilliant. Yeah. So final thought.
But that, yeah. I had a thought based on a conversation Kieran and I were having, which is I do believe, and this is coming to Germany because of weed legalization,
Oh yeah.
where the media consumption has been revolutionized by weed, where and lockdown and Corona and whatever, where you will like sit at home just because you're stoned and watch 7 hours of 7 hour iCarly YouTube video.
Yep.
Like you will do that.
I do that sober.
And I think,
Yeah.
and there's all this like this weird stuff of being like, here's 2 hours on like a beef between two NBA players, and it's like I don't know who's gonna watch that unless you're just like,
And then it's an hour and a half in. and
You've
you're
watched
like-
it, haven't you?
that was a made up
how do you
reference.
think
That wasn't a real reference.
How do you
That was made up.
think I watched the entire Island Boys like
every
all their songs and all their like the Adam 22 interviews? I was fucking just like
No, but
blasted
that's
off
another
my
great
ass.
example. And
Like,
you know, podcasts are not that far away, but there's a difference. Part of the joy of that is the self-creation, and I feel like this is like the Hollywood version of being like, you'll watch anything, right? It's fucking streaming. Like we
Yeah.
just put. It's just
to be fair,
let's
Rob and
dramatize
I
a Wikipedia
did like
article.
Rob and I did the thing that I feel that everyone should do in this movie. Just like, you know, have a bit of an edible before you go into this film. Like it made me more confused than any scenario of recent.
Rob's greatest tweet of late was still just like, I can't wait to have weed for the first time in Germany.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just feel like it's lowered the bar where they're just like, yeah, this is just like a fucking bunch of shit. You watch anything, right? It's just like it auto plays after the last thing you were watching on your streaming service.
But
that
I don't want to say streaming. Streaming is different. YouTube is different because there is just the kind of level of control and niche aspect of it. It's not the absolute ramming you raw like Adam Driver abuse that the cinema has been doing ever since like Iron Man 1 of like, or like even Harry Potter of just like, well, you watched the first 3, so get ready for the next fucking 5. Even if you hate them, you'll still see them. You fucking swine. You fucking goddamn hogs. Oh, are you going to complain? You get your €7 back? No, because we've embarrassed you into that ever thinking that would be an idea.
Yeah. Also,
DVDs are dead. We don't care anymore. Come to the cinema. Oink, oink, little piggy.
Yeah.
Also, it's $12.90 now. Not $7.
Yeah, exactly.
The sequel's going to be called the Superman is Gucci Man, and I'm excited for that coming out. The new
Gucci
Marvel.
Man, that hope.
The reason I mention all the streaming stuff is because that's why I feel like the plot was so bad, because they're like, no, we have to start at the beginning and go through the entire article
It does kind of seem
rather than some creative,
The best thing too
decision
is
making.
the best thing too is at the end of
They're
the
completionists.
At the end of the movie, like Rob came to me, he's like, "Yo, I wish that they would have like just like put up a thing like when they were giving all the like he died, he died later." It's just like and Gucci's
dead. They're all dead.
Yeah. And then Robert was like, yo, it would have been cool. They just felt like, and so many rappers have like,
well, they're like bragging about the company and how influential they are, how rich they are. And I was just like, I mean, they're in a lot of rap songs. I guess that's why they're good. That's why I think they're that's why I know about
Pump
them.
made Gucci Gang.
Yeah, there's. Have you heard a little song called Gucci Gang?
Yeah.
I want to talk about that just for a second because, like, at the end of the film, it does say like, "Oh, and Dasole made it into a great company or whatever." Blah blah blah. Not true. They were like independent for a bit. They stock optioned in 1999. The stock kind of performed very poorly up until 2004.
Oh, they got bought up at what's it called?
Caring. Which, to be fair, that's a little different because like Dasole basically convinced this French timber magnate to just make this company around the Gucci brand because like the whole reason is they were afraid our boy Bernard Arnault was going to come in.
Yep.
Buy it, LVMH was going to buy it, strip it for parts, and then like reduce it down to just its logo being sold. And I'm glad they managed to avoid that fate.
Yeah, says Kieran in head to toe.
Gucci.
The Gucci mono fucking like.
I just buy regular clothes and monogram it with the Gucci logo.
Yeah, Kieran's just wearing just a monogrammed Gucci tracksuit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to see that. I would.
Patreon money.
Yeah, Patreon. This is what your guys' money goes to. Is like Kieran head to toe Gucci.
We will never show it on camera.
Yeah.
I'm wearing it now.
Yeah.
Josie, final thoughts?
I wish that anybody else had directed this film, honestly, because I think I have a distaste for period dramas anyway. When they're trying to be like the way this movie is serious is really boring visually, or like we're gonna just do pointless shots of lots of old stuff from the past. I think it needs like a Be Kind Rewind style remake on a low budget, honestly. But I still don't regret going. I don't regret pretending to be a rich lady at the cinema and wearing a ridiculous outfit and then also buying 7 popcorns at once.
That was the most ballin' shit I've ever done at the movie theater.
Strong recommendations is go to the cinema with a group of friends and then just fuck with the queue.
Oh my god! I used to work in a cinema and I was getting like it was a very weird out of body experience to be the worst person there. Well, also,
but it felt like a Netflix series without breaks. It just it felt like how like Mindhunter.
I took breaks. I left and I pee multiple times. I couldn't sit through that whole thing. Yeah, like it was garbage.
There's so many like.
No, I'm not judging you.
The dude next to me kept getting pissed, but like he smelled horrible. So who's the real problem in the theater? Oh my god, the guy who sat next to me smelled like a fucking bar. Like alcohol and cold cigarette smoke and body odor. Horrible.
That's Berlin.
If you're a listener, then
horrible. He's not a listener.
That's the way you should watch all movies.
Disgusting. I was so upset. And then he got mad at me because I pulled my phone out once to write you guys of like everyone in this movie's forgotten how to speak English. And then he's like, could you please put your phone away? I'm just like, yeah, I will. Like just giving him just like a little Nastellini. But yeah, my final thoughts are that you should see this movie. No, for like the worst reasons. Like exactly like what Josie said is that like this should have been made as like a
should be fun.
Yeah, it should have been intentionally as a worse movie. Ridley Scott's obviously doing the thing like, yeah, everyone's saying it's bad, intentional. No, motherfucker like wanted to make he thought he was being like a good director. And he has this problem of that he's made like 3 good movies in his career. Like
Thelma and Louise was good. Didn't he made that, didn't he?
Did he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 then.
You Alien?
He did Alien,
and he
Blade
did,
Runner,
Blade Runner
and okay, yeah, Thelma and Louise 3.
I'm
Got
just
it.
gonna double check.
If you like Gladiator.
Imagine if he had.
I like
any
Gladiator.
style.
All right,
Yeah.
but it's that's a polarizing movie.
But also just like
You don't like Joaquin Phoenix's just like weight changing randomly throughout the entire
I do love
film.
anything about Walking.
Wait, I haven't seen Gladiator actually.
but like
I know
all
what
his
we're doing
best
next.
movies are indications that he shouldn't have done a movie like this.
No.
I don't know why he's been involved with it for so long. Is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, why this was never a good movie for
Well,
him.
we're just gonna get the posts of him being like, see, the younger generation is too busy on their phones to appreciate this like shit movie that I made.
Yeah.
Again, for like the 3rd time this year.
I was
because-
checking how long you were taking to tell and
Yeah, you're right.
60-minute
I
story.
wish I could have spent more time on my phone because your fucking shit movie was so garbage.
Dude, have you played Angry Birds? So good.
All right.
should have been more like the Angry Birds movie.
I think
It's giving me Boss Baby vibes.
yeah, I think it's very clear that you should see this movie. And
No.
no.
You really don't have to. I
No.
thought I was so
Hang
excited
on,
for it.
let
you don't
Nick say his
I
piece.
think that for someone like myself who do not go to the theater and watch this. Do not fucking waste your money. Like torrent it, stream it. I don't give a shit.
I'll be uploading that later.
Yeah. I think that for me personally, I would recommend it simply in the sense of if you are looking for something then to just be in complete awe for 2.5 hours. It is a bad movie. Like, do not think that we're tricking you of like, oh yeah, it's actually secretly
I
good.
started learning German halfway through.
Yeah.
That's how bad
It
it
is atrocious, but the pieces of exactly how Rob described it of just like attempting to like exist in the Marvel universe, but doing this within like a context that it cannot exist in, and I mean, yeah, the like borderline racism, if that's even possible, is brilliant.
Yeah.
Just get together with some friends, make yourself a big pot of spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the spaghetti to the cinema.
Yeah. Make an
Watch
event
it.
of it. You know, like if you make an event of it, you know, do like Josie does, just, you know, dress up as extravagant as you can, where, you know, head to toe Gucci. Like
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to do a thing. My initial plan was to pretend I was a teenager going to a screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show, even though this is like...
See, that's the thing is that if this movie could have been something like that,
Yes.
it could have been something
It
like
could
a
have been
Rocky
camp. It
Horror.
could have been camp.
No, yeah, exactly. But the fact that it was just like in this bizarre, like bordering serious and not is it is unable to have a like it could have had a bizarre cult following of just like people go and like
I
It
just-
was too chicken shit to
Yeah.
like to
Ridley
take,
Scott,
to
you
take a
pussy.
step too, yeah, exactly. It didn't step far enough into that
Yeah.
direction or another.
Oh, we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything to promote, Josie?
Oh.
Like,
No,
You doing any
it's
comedy?
lockdown again now, probably.
Yeah.
So
you doing any web series?
At Josie Parkinson.
you can follow me on Twitter
Yeah.
at Josie Parkinson.
I see what happens when an episode of Corner Späti with Josie comes out.
Oh, yeah.
She tweets more. She gets encouraged.
I mean, it helps that I have you automatically like every tweet that I have from both your
Yeah,
account and
I have a system set up.
I'm encouraged by the like 3 new people who follow me each time for about 3 weeks at a time and then disappear.
Yeah.
Please keep doing that. It makes me feel nice. But no, I will be working on my own self-funded remake of House of Gucci. But otherwise,
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm gonna star in it.
oh yeah, you're gonna play all the parts.
Yeah.
I'm playing Lady Gaga as.
Well, we had a discussion of who would be who, so yeah. I think
well, that's Patreon
yeah,
material.
exactly.
Yeah, there'll maybe be a show. I don't know, 105 January 9th. If not, there will be a live stream. Yeah. And with that, we will catch you on the bonus feed. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao. Alini.
Bye,
Well, I'm a New York Italian. I'm just a Italian girl from New York. But I'm an Italian girl from New York. It's just an Italian girl from New York. A young Italian American girl from New York. Is that I'm Italian and from New York. Good Brooklyn Italian girl. That's right. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm Italian. I was a strong Italian female. I'm a strong Italian woman. Yes, well, I'm an Italian woman. So, I'm Italian and, I'm from an Italian family. Immigrant Italian family. Strong Italian family. Close Italian family. I'm from a good Italian family. Very traditional Italian. I'm Italian. Well, I'm Italian. I'm Italian, so. I'm just an Italian girl. I'm an Italian girl. I'm Italian. I'm an Italian. So I'm Italian. But I'm Italian. I'm very Italian. I'm very Italian. I'm really Italian. Actually, I'm fully Italian. I'm Italian.